Well, my friends, it's finally happened. Putin has just fired a hypersonic missile at Ukraine, absolutely destroying a weapons depot. The message from Russia is very clear. If you send weapons to Ukraine, Russia will target those weapons and blow them to smithereens with hypersonic missiles. And this just in. According to some officials, Vladimir Putin is depressed and holding a nuclear evacuation drill, planning to send his family and himself to a secret underground city in Siberia. According to an insider, could nuclear war be on the horizon? Hello everyone, Mr. Obvious here. And today, we're going to talk about the escalating situation in Ukraine. You see, Putin has just unleashed hypersonic missiles for the very first time. Here you can see on Business Insider, Russia claims to have fired its Dagger hypersonic ballistic missile for the first time during its invasion of Ukraine. Now, for those of you that don't know, hypersonic ballistic missiles are very powerful. I do believe that they are powerful enough to sink an aircraft carrier. When used on regular targets, they will not only destroy the building, but destroy anything underground. You know, to a certain extent, there are limitations, but they are very serious missiles. And you can see the massive explosion here in the following footage. My friends, I believe that this is Russia's message to the world. No matter how many weapons, no matter how much aid you give Ukraine, Russia will destroy them with supersonic missiles. But we're going to talk about that, folks, and more. But before we do, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for updates for future content, and if you like the work that I do, please share this video online and with your family and friends. And now, a word from our sponsor. Introducing Webull. Webull is a trading app where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and stocks. Open a Webull account today, download the app, and deposit any amount of money, and you will receive 5 free stocks worth up to $9,600. The minimum is like 27 bucks, so really it's free money and you can't lose. There's also a $5 crypto reward when you make your first cryptocurrency trade. Join today by clicking the link down below. And we're back. Okay, folks, let's jump right in. Here we are on the Daily Mail. Headline: Putin fires hypersonic missile at Ukraine. Russia steps up war of attrition with another strike on the west of the country with a 9,000-mile-per-hour missile, as Kiev claims invaders have suffered 15,000 casualties. Okay, so this news is just in, and many people are worried because this is a sign of major escalation in the Ukrainian war. I mean, I suppose it's right to call it an invasion. Some people are calling it World War III. Personally, I think we're at war. I think it's some sort of war. We're sending all these missiles and equipment to Ukraine. What else would you call it? Here the story says, Russia unleashed its unstoppable Kinzhal hypersonic missiles for the first time in Ukraine, the defense ministry said today, destroying a weapons storage site in the country's west on Friday. Russia has never before admitted using the high-precision weapon in combat, the state news agency RIA Novosti said. It was the first use of the Kinzhal hypersonic weapon during the conflict in pro-Western Ukraine. So the Moscow claims that the Kinzhal, or Dagger, missile is unstoppable by current Western weapons. The missile, which has a range of 1,250 miles, is nuclear capable. This was a conventional strike. So, you know, they're using all these military terms, but I'm going to make it very simple. Hypersonic missiles are extremely fast and extremely strong. They're too fast for most anti-air systems to take down. Like, you might have an anti-missile system, but if your missile is too slow to hit the other missile, then you're not going to stop the missile. Now, I don't know if this is true. Maybe we have some sort of laser technology or something that can totally blow up hypersonic missiles. But as I understand it, these missiles were designed for 2 purposes. 1, to take down very large targets like aircraft carriers. And 2, to be too fast to stop. Now, this is a major escalation in what has so far been a pretty conventional invasion. Hypersonic missiles they're a big deal. And as much as everyone wants to pretend that Russia is they're losing the war and they have massive casualties, it's Russia. It's barely a dent in their overall forces, in their overall arms. According to sources like the New York Times, Russia has up to 1 million active military members, with a reserve military of up to 2 million. My friends, it doesn't matter if Russian casualties are 5,000 or 100,000. Russia has a lot of soldiers. Russian President Vladimir Putin has termed the missile an ideal weapon that flies at 10 times the speed of sound and can overcome air defense systems. This is exactly what I was talking about. It's a missile so fast that you can't shoot it down, because by the time you shoot your gun or your missile or whatever, your lasers, the missile's already gone. It's like the Flash or Superman. And in yet another chapter of the epic Elon Musk saga, Elon Musk is using Starlink to blow up Russian tanks. Check this out. Elon Musk's satellites help Zelensky dominate the skies. The US billionaire's internet system is allowing Ukrainian drones to pound Putin's helpless tanks. Wow, what a headline. So as many of you well know, Elon Musk is donating his Starlink, his network of satellite dishes in space, to give Ukraine free internet. Word on the street is that Zelensky is using that internet and those satellites to deploy drones that are bombing Russian tanks. Although I do not think this really means a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, it is rather fascinating. You see this little picture here that kind of shows how it all works? Unlike regular satellites which fly around Earth at 621 miles, Starlink satellites orbit the Earth at 341 miles, much closer. And currently there's over 700 Starlink satellites in orbit. Here, for example, you can see the remains of a Russian tank after being blown up. Yeah. Unfortunately, I fear that this will simply not be enough. Look at the following story. In this war now, or Russia will take several generations to recover, Zelensky tells Putin it's time to talk, as the kill count suffered by his invading forces is now higher than other major conflicts. Pay attention to this headline. They're trying to say that Zelensky's saying, look, Putin, you need to give up. We've obliterated your forces. It's time to talk. But that's not what it sounds like to me. What it sounds like to me is that Zelensky has realized that he's losing. Why else would you say, okay, now I'm ready to talk. Please, Mr. Putin, let's talk about peace. And remember, Zelensky rejected Russia's proposal for Ukraine to become a neutral state, like Sweden. Zelensky said, no, let's keep fighting. Let's keep people getting blown up. This is why I've been critical of both Russia and the Ukraine. I don't take sides here. I'm just here to point out what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing right now is that Zelensky is scared. Here it says, Vladimir Zelensky has urged Russian warmonger Vladimir Putin to end his illegal invasion. To end his illegal invasion. Wow, what a phrase. I like how the implication here is that some invasions are totally legal, like when America invaded Iraq and Afghanistan and the Middle East. That was legal invasions. Okay. He's urging Vladimir Putin to end his illegal invasion and negotiate directly with Ukraine's comic-turned wartime president, warning that otherwise Russia will take several generations to recover. In a nighttime video addressed to the nation outside the presidential office on Friday, Zelensky also accused Russian forces of deliberately causing a humanitarian catastrophe to pressure Kiev into capitulating to Putin's demands. He said, quote, I want everyone to hear me now, especially in Moscow. The time has come for a meeting. It is time to talk. It's time to restore territorial integrity and justice for Ukraine. Otherwise, Russia's losses will be such that it will take you several generations to recover. These are some pretty big words from Zelensky. And I have to say, I think they're all huff and puff. I don't take them seriously at all. And I'll tell you why. It is clear to me that Ukraine is suffering massive losses and massive destruction. We've seen the rubble, we've seen the fire, we've seen the countless articles coming out about how Ukraine is getting devastated. You know, and one of the things I find interesting is that the media is finally using the word attrition. Russia's fighting a war of attrition. Of course they are. I first pointed this out. Now, all this time later, the media is finally starting to use the word. Yeah, I pointed out very strongly that Russia has always, historically, been a country that excels at wars of attrition. So no, I don't think Putin's depressed. I don't think he's worried about losing the war. I think Russia's making steady progress, and Zelensky is at the end of his rope. This war may drag on for months, let's be honest. But ultimately, I do think that Russia is going to win. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know by commenting down below in the comment section. As always, support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar, as this channel is supported by viewers like you. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all next time.